Hey, Flagler County, this is Danielle Anderson, your host of Lifeline, the radio show connecting you to positivity here in our community. And we have Shelly Edmondson in the house and
Hi.
Renee. We are working with the tax collector's office. They're probably not the people you think you want to hear from, but surprisingly, by the time we're done, you'll be glad you did. So good morning. Thanks for coming in, Shelly.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
And who did you bring with you today?
I brought Renee Flint. She is the chief deputy, which is also known as the assistant tax collector. So if you can't find me, look for her.
And now that you're on Facebook Live, everybody knows what you look like.
That's it.
She's like, oh, great. I got dragged into this. So, there's some interesting news that is lots of news organizations have been picking up about the driver's license issue thing. And we really want to get down into the meat of that.
Okay.
But before we get started, I want people to kind of know who you are because your history in Flagler County is so incredible, your legacy of family public service. So tell people a little about yourself.
So just a little bit is I was born and raised in Flagler County. So was Renee, actually. And my grandfather, I always tell the sheriff, I say, you're my second favorite sheriff. And he's like, oh, who's your first? And I'm like, my grandfather. Anyways, yeah, my grandfather was the Flagler County Sheriff from 1965 to 1980. And so I'm very proud of that. My dad worked for the state attorney's office for over 30 years. My mom was in public service for over 30 years, 40 years. So pretty incredible. I'm blessed to be able to do it. I got in public service when I was still in high school.
Wow.
I worked for, at the time, the clerk of court, Sid Crosby. And then I worked for Gail Wadsworth. I left her to pursue my dream of owning my own business. I did that for about 18 years and kind of parallel. I came back to public service. Miss Johnston just begged me, please come work for me. And so I did, and it was the best thing that I ever did. Came back and teamed up with Renee, and we've been I'd like to say a powerhouse ever since, working with Miss Johnston and learning a lot, but coming back with the knowledge I had from just being my own business owner and teaming up with Renee and her skills, having been in the office for a long time. And so
with all that work history, it sounds like you should be like 100 years old.
I know.
And I'm like,
I know. The math doesn't math for me.
Are you even 40? My gosh. So,
Yeah.
Renee, how did you kind of get involved in the government stuff?
So when I was just a junior in high school, I worked for one of the local title companies here in Flagler County, and I did that for almost 8 years. I started bottom, and by the time I left, I was helping with the closings and all the things, and just at a change, I've known Suzanne my whole life. My family has worked with her family throughout my whole life, and I came over and started working for her in 2008, and here we are 17 years later and still there and loving every minute of it. And it's been fun ever since Shelly kind of joined the office. Like she said, we just it clicked, the two of us together, and it's been a fun ride with her.
It's funny is like you see, not to demean postal employees, but sometimes you see those memes or like people they're just at the end of their rope and they've only been working for like 3 years, and you're just like, it looks like life in the tax collector's office has been very good.
I love what I do. I loved it, before becoming tax collector. Just I enjoyed every day coming to work. I felt like there was always a challenge, there was always something new, and there was always someone to help. And government can be very difficult sometimes, frankly, right? And so the cool thing about our office is that we see people. We see everybody, whether you're moving into the county and you have to come get your driver's license replaced and your titles, your cars and all the things. Or, once a year we send you a birthday card that says renew your tag. And
Every month, every year.
every year on your birthday, you're supposed to renew your tag. And so that comes from our office. And so traditionally a lot of people come in. I mean, obviously now you can do a lot more online, but we see people all the time, everybody that lives here, whether you're a homeowner or a renter, if you're in Flagler County, you have to come to our office for one or more reasons pretty regularly. And so it's always a pleasure to be able to help people. And so, if you don't love what you do, it is work. And so it's not work. I enjoy coming to work every day.
it's got to be cool to see like generations, as you see one person get their driver's license, and then like down the road you see the brother or sister, and then later on they have kids.
Well, I tell you, the hardest part for me was when I worked on the front counter. What would Suzanne say? I pushed the buttons. And I remember when I first started and I was doing driver's license, and kids, the 15-year-olds would come in, and they were born after I graduated high school. That was a tough pill to swallow. That was tough. Yeah.
I know. Somebody said something like the 80s were like 50 years ago. Don't tell your friends. And you're like,
I'm struggling.
It's all good though. We're here. So, you guys have like a great foundation because Suzanne Johnson was such a pivotal
force
of nature. I mean, and she was one of the first. I always noticed about her when covering stuff, she was very innovative. And so she was always like leading in government with new things.
Yes, she was. She's a tough act to follow. I will say I'm very proud. I think we both can say we're very proud to have been part of her team and to learn from her. She always says, "I think different," and she did. Does she does think different? She thinks outside of the box, and so it was quite an honor and a privilege. Like I said, I've worked for Gail Wadsworth. Many folks know Gail. Sid,
she's a true professional too.
And so for Renee, I think that Suzanne's the only public servant that she's actually worked for, but I had the privilege of having several, and public service is not easy, but it can be so rewarding and so incredibly fun, really, frankly. Yeah.
It actually is a
and
cool
that's
job.
Suzanne thinking outside of the box, always something new. I can honestly say, I think Renee's going to agree, there was never a dull moment with Miss Johnson.
So how do you think kind of like having her experience and has set you up for success? Because you have just hit the ground running and just really made the office your own.
A lot of that I have to give her the credit for. I mean, she set us both up for success. We had many years to work with her, and but between her help and God's will, we're here today, and it's an honor, it's a privilege to be able to do what we love to do.
It's so cool. So are there any like big things that you'd like to accomplish for the office?
I think just continuing to move forward with being innovative, bringing in the technology. Suzanne was very, like you said, forward thinking, and I just want to continue that. I don't want to chase the technology. I want to ride with it. So That's it. Just continuing to see more innovative practices that I think we can incorporate.
And I know that customer service has always been a big focus of the office. You call and you actually talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the technology is ever going to overtake that, where that won't happen?
I think we've done some changes recently.
Just a little.
That's Renee's voice that you hear actually when you call. And we have since used a little bit of the technology you will end up with a live person or somebody's direct voicemail.
Yeah.
But you're going to talk to somebody. You're going to interact with a live human, unless you hear what you need to hear. There's some cues. Maybe you're just calling to find out what our hours are. Well, we have a message for that. And if you hear what you need to hear, you can hang up, or you continue to wait on the line and get somebody.
What's been the most inspiring part about working with Shelley for you?
Her energy.
Yeah.
She doesn't stop. It's never a dull moment. She's got a fun personality to her, and she's got a heart of gold.
If you're good to your people, they'll be good to you. I learned that from Dr. Joe Saviak and some others, but we all know Joe, and
who doesn't love him,
right? As you know, we have our leadership academy that we incorporate.
Talk about that.
So that's pretty great, and maybe Renee can talk some more because we've partnered with a college. I'll let her fill you in.
I noticed that was a new addition. Okay, so talk about the Leadership Academy, how you guys kind of came to take it over. Because it was under the county's purview, wasn't it?
Okay, yes. So when it first started, Renee and I were actually part of that very first class, and I was the valedictorian.
Oh, of course.
Right. And it happened to also be during COVID, which was interesting. And, but it was it was a blessing. And that course lasted over a year, and it was very intense. Heidi Petito was in that class.
That's
Jonathan
when
Lord.
Joe and Jerry Cameron were teaching,
That's right.
Correct.
So they had the two instructors, and that was kind of how we first kind of came to know everybody. And Renee and I had a firsthand glimpse of what that really meant, because the sheriff participated and sent Kenny and Ryan. So the sheriff's office was represented, the tax collector's office was represented, and then we had all these county folks, all the directors, Heidi and Jonathan Lord, John Brower, and others. And just the relationships that we were able to build and make better, we instantly got validated when COVID hit, because Miss Johnston's like, okay, well, it's COVID. What are we going to do? And nobody's ever seen this before. And Renee said, I'm calling Jonathan. I said, I'll call Heidi. And so, with those relationships in that leadership class, we learned that we were able to collaborate better with other agencies, and government worked better. And it got us through some pretty incredible times. And just fast forward, the county had that program, and for whatever reason, and I don't know, they were not able to continue it. And Miss Johnston, being the forward thinking, seeing the benefits just in our office, she would tell you today. She
did
noticed
at the last graduation.
Yes.
She said these very words.
Yep, she said from that very first class, she said, I noticed that Shelley and Renee stood taller. They stood taller. They were more confident, and all of that was true. But we were becoming confident in ourselves, confident in our jobs, and just confident in our decision making and leadership style. And I think that Suzanne just saw that and said, if the county can't do it, I will. And she found a way. And Suzanne, she liked to squeeze a penny, which we love her for it. And so she was able to do it at a much less cost and all the things, and incorporate other agencies. So now today it's evolved to, we have the city of Palm Coast, the city of Flagler Beach, the sheriff's office, supervisor of elections, the school board sends folks,
the BOCC,
the board sends folks.
Wow.
So it's a very small class. You have to be from one of those agencies. There's literally only 12 to 15 seats in the class. It's very, very small but mighty. And the relationships, the collaboration, the working together of all of these agencies has had an incredible impact on how we all communicate with one another and help the public.
I think that's been a dream for so many residents, is to see people working across county lines, city lines together. And it seems like things have gotten better, and maybe this is one of those things that's helped make that happen.
Well, at the end of the day, we all work for the people. We all live here. We all have the same goal. And Suzanne,
the territorialness has gone away.
I see it that way. Yeah. I mean, collaborating, the city of Bunnell hasn't participated, but they have come to our graduations and they enjoy the program, but for one reason or another haven't been able to send people, but
they come for the cake.
They come for the yes. Normally, Suzanne's sister Kathy makes the pound cakes, and so they maybe just come for the cake. But they're even represented in the room. It's just been a great way to bring everybody together, and Dr. Saviak's played a pivotal role, right? Like it's real life scenarios, and they're doing real life stuff.
Application. He's no joke when it comes to leadership. I mean, that is his passion.
Yeah, local government and communication and leadership and all of those things that are really important. It's all packed into this 15-week program. Wow. But the most exciting thing is we put this package together, and Renee, I got to give Renee credit. Renee put this package together and worked directly with Daytona State College, and now I don't know if you say accredited or approve it, but the diploma comes from Daytona State and in their leadership.
It's a certification from Daytona State.
Correct.
Yes.
So everybody signs. I sign it. The Daytona State signs it. Yeah. So that actually serious. We got in place just before Miss Johnston left.
I bet that's just like the crowning achievement to see that.
Yes. Yeah. Award winning. I'd like to say it's a word.
You guys are just leaders in the state. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about why Shelly's actually here. We can squeeze that in, too, so we'll be right back.
Thank you so much for recommending us to your family and friends. When you need a 30, 60, or 90-minute massage, it's real easy to book your appointment online. MassageByNatalie.org. MassageByNatalie.org.
Are you wondering if that old paint in your garage is still any good?
Bring it in. We'll let you know.
And while you're at it, if you need to match a color,
chip off some paint and bring it in.
our color matching is unmatched.
Benjamin Moore, corner of Old Kings and Utility Drive.
Palm Coast.
So we are back at the tax collector's office here in Flagler County, and we're going to talk about not just leadership and good best practices, but also some new stuff that's just happened thanks to the state legislature.
Yep.
What's going on with that?
I got to get my glasses on. But all right, so it's Senate Bill 994, and it's the driver license education requirements. And it becomes effective July 1st. So currently, and my kids did it, but they weren't happy about it. Now it's the law. Currently, in order to get your driver's license, or if you're 15, to get your permit, you have to come in and you have to prove that you took a 4-hour drug course, and the skills test,
Road signs and road rules.
Now, the state has changed it where it's a 6-hour course. And so, yes, it's a new course. There is a grandfather period. The state just let us know yesterday that if you've already taken the 4-hour course, it's good for a year. You can still use it, but you have to have taken that course before July 1st. Otherwise, you'll be required to take the 6-hour. Now, I will say that this course is available through. There's different providers. If you go onto the state go to our website. There's a link to the state website to show you the providers. Or FVLS, which is the Florida Virtual School. You can do it through the school system and actually get a half a credit, I believe. That's what my kids got by doing the driver's ed course, which includes all of this. So I actually made my kids do the driver's ed course, and my son's like, why do I have to do it? Nobody else has to do it. And I said, we have to do it in this house. And it wasn't like 3 weeks later, the law changed. I could not wait to go home and tell him, now everybody has to do it.
Told you so.
Yeah.
So how is this different? Is this like, it's not 4 hours on top of the 6 hours?
No,
it's the 6 hours.
It's in place. It's just basically making sure that these kids have more education. And really, I was contemplating, do I even tell everybody this? Because I'd rather everybody just if it were up to me, which it's not. I wish every kid would go through a driver's ed course, but they're not required to. They just have to complete the 6 hours. The driver's ed course, I think, is a little bit longer, but it satisfies these requirements.
So is this something that they can take at school, or is this something that
online? It's not actually offered in our high schools, but it is available for free through the Florida Virtual Schools.
So does this change any of the road requirements, the driving knowledge, skills, or any of those?
Nope.
And what kind of stuff is in there? Do you know?
I think it just talks about, I don't know exactly, other than it's going over the road rules. It's going over the do's and the don'ts. There's actually a section on the Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles website that's just for teen drivers, and it talks about the do's and the don'ts, and obey the speed limit, use your turn signals, don't blast your music. So it's just educating young drivers to be careful and more cautious. And
my kids, I don't know why, I couldn't wait to get my driver's license. I mean, as soon as I was eligible, I was there, you know.
Yep.
And my kids both waited till after they were like 18.
We see that a lot.
What do you think that is?
And these are not required after you turn 18, by the way. This is only for...
Oh, no.
I know. That's another, I think everybody should have to, but...
everybody. Just everybody.
If you wait till you're 18, then you don't have to do any of this, unfortunately. But if you're under 18, start having this conversation at 14. You need to go ahead and do these courses, because when you're 15 and you walk through our doors, you have to have all this stuff completed. And so we're here today talking about it because the requirements change, I guess, next week, July 1st, whenever
Yeah,
that is.
that's soon.
Yeah.
So do you feel like this is going to be something that's going to be beneficial, or do you think the kids are just going to turn it on and, buzz out and do something else? And do you think they're going to actually pay attention and absorb this? Did your kids?
I think, yes. Yes, I think they have to if they want to continue to pursue, because they still have to take a test at the end of this.
Do you know how many teen drivers we have in the community?
Not in this community, but on the state website, it actually I didn't pull that record. I'm sorry to say, I should have, but there are 456,754 current young drivers on the road in the state of Florida.
And those are people under the age of 18.
Yes.
Can we say that number one more time?
456,754.
Wow.
Teen drivers.
That's
yes.
a lot.
That's almost 500,000 folks.
And those are licensed ones, right?
Right. Yes.
Right.
Or their learner's permit. Yes.
Wow. I mean,
but there's some great resources for teen drivers, and a lot of this stuff is free. If you have any questions, I would suggest go on our website, give us a call, send us an email. We have a contact us on our website, and we'll be happy to go over. My goal is just to help everybody through this process. Right, we want to get kids on the road, but we want to make sure they're going to be safe. So yeah, I think these programs are designed, and I'm not part of that process, but I think they're designed for kids to pay attention, understand they can't just blow through it. They have to absorb some of it. So basically, the class is going from 4 to 6 hours. It's just giving them some more information.
I think that's great. I mean, the more you can kind of get that in their brain, maybe they'll stop and think about, oh, I should have waited a little longer in the stop sign, or don't forget to use your turn signal.
Right.
That's the biggest one.
Right. Watch for pedestrians. We've had those things. Watch for bikes. I know we've got an e-bike situation right now. So yeah, it's just staying safe on the road. So, we are the tax collector's office, but we do more than just collect property tax. We're also the DMV, so we see everybody, and we just want to keep them safe.
That's a great idea. So what other kinds of services do you guys have?
Oh, gosh, we do a little bit of everything.
Talk about concealed carry. You guys do that, right?
We do. We currently only do it in our Flagler Beach office. I'm looking to bring it and open it in addition to Flagler Beach back to Bunnell, so that you have a couple of options. We can now do replacement, so if you were to lose your concealed weapons, we're able to replace it. We were not always able to do that. You had to go through the state to do that.
Wow.
But you can apply in our office. We send it off. We take the photo, do the fingerprints, all of that. The background check has to come back, and the state will approve it. And they send you the card for your first application, but we help through the process. If you're just renewing, you can certainly come into our office and actually renew. And we take the photo and actually give you the credential right there.
Is there a class required to get the concealed carry?
For your beginning.
There is one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a DD 214 or.
Right.
There's a small list of other items that can be used.
Correct.
We're already out of time. So tell me, what are some of the other things that people might come to see you guys for, real quick, just in case they're listening?
Tourist tax, business tax receipts, hunting and fishing licenses.
Birth certificates.
Birth certificates are hopefully coming back soon. They had a little hiccup and had to shut down the tax collectors from being able to issue for a little bit. But
all tax collectors.
I just had to go pick mine up today at the Vital Statistics place.
You could have come to our office, but they haven't turned that feature back on for tax collectors yet. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's coming back soon.
Heavy use tax. We work with the IRS for big trucks when they have to renew their tags. And
handicap parking permits.
Yeah, the handicap placards that hang up. We have a lot of veterans benefits. Please visit our website if you're a veteran to see what you may qualify for, not just for your tags, but maybe your business or anything like that.
Are you guys still doing the free helmets?
Nope. So that was while supplies last. We will probably be bringing that back in the future, but for right now, we are helmet free. We actually were able to give the last of our helmets to the schools,
elementary school,
because we had a lot of small ones that on hand. We were able to supply those to the schools, and the the Bikemen of Flagler County came and got the rest because they offer the same program that we were doing. And so, yeah, we don't have any more helmets, unfortunately.
I'm so excited that you guys, people think tax collector, you would never think, bike safety, pedestrian safety, vehicle safety, all this stuff, all these other things that you guys are involved in.
Right. We currently are actually working with Nikki White with the flag project. So if you want a flag, come by our office or the radio station. I saw you guys had some here. Show your patriotism and come get a flag. They are free, but if you want to donate to help supply for
resupply Nikki.
Resupply Nikki. I'm sure she would love the donations for that. I'm sorry.
What kind of flag is it? Is it a regular big flag?
No, it's the one. It's the ones on the stick. I don't know how big are they. About the size of maybe a sheet of paper or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So come by here if you need to get a flag before 4th of July.
Yeah,
this
and
is
you
the place to get
put
it.
them on your mailbox or in your yard. Yeah.
Come and get it done.
Yeah.
So tell everybody where they can find you guys and get more information if they need to get in contact.
So go ahead, Renee.
So our website, I guess we'll start there, is flaglertax.gov. We have 3 locations that we would love to see you at. Our main office is here in Bunnell at the Government Services Building. We're on the first floor, your first office on the left when you come in. And then we have a branch out in Palm Coast in the St. Joe Plaza. We're a couple doors down from the Ace Hardware. And then in Flagler Beach, we're in the old Badcock Plaza on the far end. So those are the 3 locations.
Super convenient. You're in and out no matter what. It's just great customer service. And the people just... I had an experience a couple of months ago. Amazing people in the Flagler Beach office. It's just so helpful. So thanks for always doing a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's our pleasure.
So remember, Flagler Tax, it doesn't mean they're going to do your taxes. It means they'll help you with your taxes. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in and thank WNZF News Radio, Flagler News Weekly, The Vigilante Philanthropist, Massage by Natalie and Company, and our local Benjamin Moore Paint Store here in Palm Coast. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.